Talking about news, um, the oldest form of news. Anybody knows the oldest form of news dissemination? It was gossip. If you remember, gossip, the oldest one in the planet. So then, over the years, news became different. Then it went from the pigeons. That if you remember Reuters used to use pigeons to send their messages across war-torn countries. And then it moved from there to the telefax, the fax machine, and then it moved on into phones and to print, and finally it got into the digital space. And right now we are in a completely new era that is being built. So let's just look at. Sorry, where's the? Okay, what is different is that over the years, digital penetration, the growth of social media has changed over the years. Millennials are becoming, the large percentage of the workforce, and so we also saw the rise of the blogs, social media, and how it gave birth to citizen journalism. So, what happened is that news is no longer confined to the newsroom. It's no more the privilege of a few. If you buy a subscription, doesn't mean that you can control the media. You can't. News is free for all because of the democratization of information. So that is very important to note. Now, every other person around, you and me, is an influencer. Every other person is a citizen journalist, or you can even generate news. Now, that means it has great implications for you, business owners, as well as for people who are involved in the media practitioner. So it's become a bigger game, a different game. Accessibility and democratization of news is not confined to the news. Social media has fundamentally changed the landscape of news consumption. The rise of mobility, coupled with the wave of millennials getting into the workforce, has changed everything. Look at the statistics over there. More than 400 million users in uh, Facebook dominates 85% of internet users, and millennials will comprise three-quarter of the global workforce, and that's really powerful. So, while this has been going on, the trust placed on media over the years has deteriorated. Just look at some of the statistics here. The audience is very, very discerning. And anybody who loses their credibility, you're tracked along the way simply because people are getting smarter. Business owners are getting smarter, and they're using various elements to get the right bang for their buck, and people are tuning out to just only the news out there. You have to create your own media house, meaning you're a one man media house, but you have a big burden out there for you to improve yourself. Then there's the news of fake news. You look at the amount of emphasis these days on fake news. So if you are a business owner, can you imagine you're grappling not only understanding uh, how you are doing the business, then you're worried about the news and how fake it is. So you got plenty things on your plate, and so deterioration of trust has happened. And along the way, the evolution of news organizations has changed. I mean, look at Bernama, for example. Bernama was just a news wire, only about news. Now, look, they've rolled out audio visuals, they've got talk radio and TV channels, live streaming. Astro Avani is right there as we have the political, events happening. Look at the age. It's become, a lifestyle, uh, uh, wealth creation, increased presence on good with events. And look at Reuters. Reuters become a full service branded content studio. So it's changed many things here. News organizations, their businesses have changed. For now, how do you get your stories out there? That's the big question for all of us. Even if you're a SME or a small business, you need you need to get your stories out there. So how can you keep up with the news? You got thought leadership as one of the ways to get your harness your opportunities. Use thought leadership to attract businesses, to get them to understand that you got to know that the platforms are multi and your messaging and that your brand story is always needed and purposeful. The media is a partner to get your message out there, but they're not easy to be around. Difficult to get them to get their headlines. So, what does it mean? It means that now engaging media partnership must be emphasized. Engage, for example, like our company here, can help create partnerships with businesses. How can we realize this? Tell a compelling story, co-create content, co co brand events, and start something new. So that's what we're trying to spark, a revolution like that with businesses. And when you join us in the effort, you will understand that we have a chance to make more waves than what we really see right now. And so that's why partnering with Engage is a way for you to see uh, what more potential there is out there. So finally, when you bring out your story out, we have realized now that digital presentation is very, very important. Use of analytics, social media, traditional media, all the medium channels, that really is a 24 hours job and game. Number two, consumption. The core stakeholders and media behavior, like our company here, IGSS, they managed to, map content and amplify it to the right channels. And so they became successful in that area. And if you look at even Pestle and Mota and Pichai, the game has changed over the years. Uh, would you be talking about food like the way it's a business? No. But that's combining not only business but also opportunities. using your various channels and using your branding and your marketing. Very, very important. So this is a realization that things have changed over the years. It's not the privilege of only a few people to run the media. The media is yours and ours. Let's work in partnership and therefore create more opportunities for both of us. Us who look after reputations and PR, and you, the business people who are able to, work with people like us to create new opportunities. That's the kind of message I was trying to get to you. Thank you.
Um, one thing we get asked very often is about crisis and crisis management. So, in your view, especially with the media changing today, what perhaps could we do with regards, or how could we connect with the media in a situation where they will allow the brand the opportunity to respond to a crisis before they run the headlines? Do you think there is an opportunity today in this
Yes,
situation?
I think so. Simply, the opportunity is to be prepared. Any business that is not ready and prepared to handle a crisis, something's wrong. When I was in the business, in the PR side, they used to tell me, where's your crisis communications manual? Many people don't know, don't have. You don't have to be a multi-million dollar business for that. You can be a small business, but you have preparedness. And I think it cuts across everybody out there. Crisis management, very important. Let's hit it off before it happens.
We have this whole conversation around influences. Today, with all of this micro influences, macro influences, and so on and so forth, do you think media is still as important as an influencer?
Yes, of course. I mean, today we are all watching the screens to see who's going to be the prime minister, right? So that tells you that it's very important. So media is very important. But the nature of the media has changed over the years. And I think that's what we have to recognize and treat it in that way so that we are not not getting into an animal that we are not aware about. It's changing. It's changing like anything by the minute. Like I said, it started with gossip, and then today you ended up with words of mouth. Actually, word of mouth has become one of the biggest influences right now. So don't forget that.
And for startups, I suppose, for startups and SME who may not necessarily have the clout the media may want, how can they work with media then? Maybe because you spoke about partnerships just now. So, what could that be for an SME?
Okay, for SMEs, I think when you have a business that cannot amplify its goals, if you don't amplify your goals to reach out to, like Picha said, Picha eats dead, where you got your own business, but at the same time you're working in partnership with the media because you need uh, not just yourself alone nowadays. You need more dependence on other aids, and one of those are media. The other is word of mouth. It's social media, analytics. We've got so many other branches that are available out there. You can't do it alone these days, simply because uh, things are changing so fast. Look at Asia, where it was going so nicely. Suddenly there was this Bible scandal, and then everything's gone. The share price is tanked. So these things happen, and so we better be prepared for this.
How would it be best to prepare for a crisis? Do you think it's a CEO role? Do you think it's a communications department role?
No, it's definitely a CEO thing because he's the one who is the man on the top. Many times, and many in the past, we found out just because you pass it to the corporate communications or the event managers, everything will be okay. Unless the CEO has a firm grip and handle of how to manage his business, then all the underlings and all the supporting cast are they not going to help you because the CEO is the decider. He is the man who makes the decision. So no point being just the tail end of a decision. You must be part of the original decision from the CEO and nurture it all the way through down to become a policy.
Could you perhaps share with the audience what some examples of partnership with media that stands out for you in the last few years, especially?
I think Reuters is a very good example. They've done a lot more than they've done in the past. They were just a news wire, and instead, they do financial information, they do partnerships, they got photos, video, even digital, opportunities. So that's an example. Nearer home, I'd say the age is a very good example as well because over the years they have changed uh, the niche that they're in from just being only on financial news. They're doing other things, like wealth creation, uh, property awards, even a radio like BFM that works with the age now. It never used to be there with them before. So yeah, it's changing very much.